In today's guide, we will talk about Avril, the Polar Prodigy, a powerful ice mage. She is a master over the magical forces of winter. Avril was a disciple of the Ice Temple before it was desecrated. Now she strives to find a new ice temple to guard the land of Nor. Avril is one of the 3 starting heroes players choose from at the beginning of the game. She represents the classic mage archetype found in many fantasy games. Her crowd control is peerless, and she has more ice-type abilities than any other hero. Beautiful and dangerous, she makes a great addition to any lineup. Ice Nova. Avril summons an Ice Nova on the battlefield that deals freezing damage to enemies within the large target area. Units that accumulate a high amount of freezing damage will be frozen solid. The higher Avril's magic attribute, the more freezing damage she deals. Ice Vortex. Avril's basic attack has a chance to shoot an icicle that deals freezing damage to the target and a smaller amount of freezing damage to nearby enemies. Units that accumulate a high amount of freezing damage will be frozen solid. The higher Avril's magic attribute, the more freezing damage she deals. Ice Wall. Avril summons an ice wall to hold back her enemies. Giant units can shatter the wall. Gifted Mage. As a wise mage, Avril has incredible control over the arcane. This mastery grants her a bonus to her magic attribute. Blizzard. Avril summons massive hailstones to strike the target area, each hailstone dealing freezing damage to enemies hit. Units that accumulate a high amount of freezing damage will be frozen solid. The higher Avril's magic attribute, the more freezing damage she deals. Rapid Cast. Avril's spells can be cast twice during battle, but Avril must wait for her spell cooldown before the first and the second cast. Avril is a classical control mage with high damage output. Blizzard combined with Rapid Cast allows her to deal tons of area damage, and as an ice mage, Avril of course is equipped with formidable crowd control abilities, so she excels both as a primary damage dealer and as a support hero dedicated to control. She can use her Ice Wall ability to block enemy melee troops while her ranged troops rain damage down on them. By softening up the enemy like this, Avril helps to relieve pressure from her own melee fighters, thus reducing allied losses. Furthermore, she can use Blizzard and Ice Nova to freeze her enemies in place, preventing them from dealing damage, which is a great way to avoid taking losses in battle. Avril can effectively counter enemy cavalry charges by placing an ice wall in their path to stop them from slamming into her troops. Because of the tactical advantages Avril brings to the battle, her side can afford to deploy fewer defensive troops in favor of maxing out the firepower of her army, even to the extent that she might not need any defensive troops at all. But you have to be careful. The freezing effect of Avril's abilities isn't all powerful. She can struggle against dwarven mechanical units like tanks and mech suits, which can't be frozen at all. When facing down a dwarven mechanical army, consider not deploying Avril or take special measures to counter their strengths. For example, dwarven riflemen have the ability to headshot their opponents and deal 100 times the damage of a regular shot. This is a great counter to bring into play against mechanical units and a good strategy to keep in mind when playing with Avril. There is a useful trick that comes in here. By using Ice Wall to corral enemy units together, you can then hit them with the Ice Nova and Blizzard in combination to wipe them out in the blink of an eye. That does it for our overview of Avril. Keep an eye out for the next installment of our hero guide when we talk about Vega, the Solar Angel.